In this video I will tell you all about personalities in the game Bizarre Lineage on Roblox. Subscribe, hype, like, and watch until the end to understand this guide properly. Stand personalities in Bizarre Lineage are passive buffs that your stand receives automatically when you roll it, and I'll tell you why these traits are actually a huge deal if you want your build to be strong in PvP and late game fights. The best personality right now is the mythical trait called Elegant, which reduces your stand cooldowns and boosts your speed, making your abilities come back faster and letting you move around the fight much easier. If you roll a bad trait, you are not stuck with it forever because you can reroll it using a stand personality essence, which you can buy from the Prestige shop or directly with Roblox. A lot of players think the grind ends once they roll their dream stand, but that is not really true. If you want to dominate PvP matches or melt bosses in late game raids, you need to pay attention to the passive buffs your stand gets. Rolling the right personality in Bizarre Lineage can completely change how strong your build feels in combat, turning an average stand into something that hits way harder and performs much better. Every time you use a stand arrow and obtain a new stand, the game assigns it a random personality. Some of these traits give small stat bonuses while others are extremely powerful mythical passives that can dramatically improve your damage, mobility, or survivability. In this video guide I'll tell you the full list of personalities, how they are divided by rarity, which ones are the strongest in the current meta, and what you should reroll if you get unlucky. Let's start with the mythical personalities, which are basically the god tier traits in the game. If you roll one of these you basically hit the jackpot. The first one is Elegant, which reduces stand cooldowns by 10%, gives you a speed burst whenever you attack, and also increases your overall damage depending on your movement speed. Then there is Feral, which increases your damage by 10% but reduces your defense by 10%, making you stronger but also more fragile in fights. The third mythical personality is Transcendent, which gives a balance bonus of 7% damage, 7% power regeneration, and 7% global defense. After mythical traits we have legendary personalities, which are still extremely strong and often shape how a build plays. Dominant increases your damage by 25% against enemies who have not attacked you yet, which makes it insanely strong for opening attacks. Artistic makes enemies vulnerable for 5 seconds when you break their block, which means they take 20% more incoming damage. Rhythmic increases your power regeneration by 35% so you can use abilities much more often. Methodical restores 20% power when you land a perfect block and also gives you a burst of speed. Suffocating increases all damage over time effects by 50%, which makes it crazy strong for stands that rely on burn, poison, or bleed effects. Cursed gives a balanced buff with 4% damage, 4% power regeneration, and 4% global defense. Next are rare personalities, which are more situational but still useful during progression. Determined increases damage by 4% while your HP is above 70%. Furious increases damage by 10% when your HP drops below 30%. Compassionate increases healing effectiveness by 25%. Slugger increases the damage of block-breaking skills by 10%. Durable completely negates damage taken from status effects, which means 100% reduction from those effects. Fearful gives you 20% defense for 2 seconds if your block gets broken. Finally, there are uncommon and common personalities, which are mostly early game traits and usually get rerolled later. Curious increases evasive gain by 20%. Astute causes blocked attacks to deal 10% chip damage to the enemy. Predictive increases counter skill damage by 10%. Kind increases healing effectiveness by 10%. Erratic restores 5% power when you dodge an attack. Energetic increases power regeneration by 10%. Happy increases HP regeneration by 5%. Arrogant increases damage by 5% while you are at maximum health. Firm generates power when you block attacks. Cowardly reduces the slow effect when your HP is low. Now, if you want the best personalities in the current meta, there are a few clear winners. Elegant is easily rank 1 because a flat 10% cooldown reduction on all stand abilities massively increases your overall damage output. The speed boosts and speed scaling damage also make you extremely hard to catch in PvP. Transcendent is another top-tier option if you want a balanced build because it boosts damage, power regeneration, and defense at the same time with no drawbacks. Suffocating is extremely strong if you are using a stand that applies burn, poison, or bleed because the 50% boost to damage over time effects can melt enemy health bars very quickly. One important tip though is to be careful with the feral trait. Even though it is mythical, the 10% defense penalty can make you way too squishy in fights. Unless you are building a full glass cannon playstyle, you should usually reroll this personality. If you roll a great stand but get stuck with something weak like cowardly or even feral, you do not need to throw the stand away. You can simply reroll the trait by using a stand personality essence. You can get this item from the Prestige shop using Prestige shards or buy it from the main shop using Robux. One very important warning before using the essence is to make sure the stand you actually want to reroll is currently equipped. If you use the essence while holding a different stand, the item will still be consumed and completely wasted.